here, I'm going to unzip my pants, and I'm going to pull out my really big dick here, and I'm going to swing it the fuck around the room, and you can't stop me.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Controller. I'm Gladys, and joining me once again is Cryptic Panther.
Hey, everybody.
And Fatti.
Hey.
Uber is not able to join us once again. Hopefully next podcast he'll be back, but for now, the three of us will be handling the show once more as a three-piece. Moving straight into the gaming news here, Cryptic Panther talked to us about one of our newest favorite games.
Ah, yes, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
I need to cut in that, the old school 60s.
Yes.
I guess not 60s, but was it, I guess, early 80s? Early 80s
Or Spider-Pig.
Spider-Pig? Yeah, that'll work. Yeah. Yeah, the good old Spider-Man. And it's got some Easter eggs in it, and it's got some, some pretty neat details and stuff in the game. But speaking of Easter eggs, this might be what they're touting as the world's saddest Easter egg. So back a few months ago, I guess back in May of 2018, this Tyler cat tweeted out to Insomniac Games. And he said, I need your help. This may be selfish, but I'm ready to propose to my girlfriend, and I want to do it in a big way. And he tweeted Insomniac Games and a few other people that must be developers or whatever with the company. Is there any way you could put an Easter egg of Madison, will you marry me anywhere in the game? So they've been, apparently, I watched the video the young fella posted it was linked on Reddit, is how I found it. And I was kind of asking people, like, is this fucking true? Like, is this dude just, trying to make himself seem semi-famous so he could, like, try to launch a YouTube career off this? So I seen him I went to his YouTube channel. I'm like, okay. He's got, like, 46 subscribers. He's posted, like, 4 videos in the last fucking, over this, like, 8 years he's been a YouTuber or some shit. Like, there's been no real traffic. He had that one video about him telling about the story. Had like 7,000 views or something. Then all of a sudden he's live streaming Spider-Man. I'm thinking, I wonder if this guy found this sign and just fucking lied about it, because it's actually in the game. It's actually, he showed an image of it in his YouTube video, and there's an image here in the article I'm getting this information from. Yeah, and it says, Maddie, will you marry me? So, hey, that sounds like an awesome thing to do. Like, that's pretty fucking cool. I mean, if she's not a gamer, it might not mean as much to her as it would to someone that maybe is into video games and understands Easter eggs. And I think it's pretty fucking cool that Insomniac actually done it. But here comes the twist. They've been together for 5 years. And up until a few weeks before the game launched, she dumped him for his brother.
Yikes.
Yeah. So, like, maybe you got to be careful what you wish for type of deal. Because, I mean, who would have thought, tweeting them and saying, like, I'm going to propose, put a, will you marry me in your video game? And, like, not knowing the guy. Like, he's not famous. He didn't have, like, 10 million YouTube subscribers or anything like that where they would, they've done that for other YouTubers. Like, in other games, they put little Easter eggs in of famous YouTubers and stuff. And, yeah, like, this guy's, no offense to the guy. He's on as far as I know, at least on YouTube, he's kind of like a nobody, right? He's just some dude that asked, for this thing to happen. And
an average Joe.
Yeah, an average Joe. And they went ahead and they done it. And now that is going to be a constant reminder of him. Someone said, I don't know if it was someone said that they had offered him on the next update where they could change it. I don't know. I don't know if they should. I think they should leave it. It kind of is like it's just kind of maybe a warning.
Warning.
maybe you don't want to, ask the girl to marry you in a video game because, then the whole world will know, and then the whole world will be like, dude, you just got fucked over. I feel bad for the dude, man. Like, that's, like, he went trying to find an interesting way to propose to his
that's
girlfriend.
very creative.
I mean, hey, I never thought of it. I mean, that's a pretty ballsy thing to even attempt. And then to turn around and have his woman, like, even, before she sees this, 3 weeks, I think it was, before game launch, she's like, nah, dude, I'm going to go, hang out and fuck your brother now. Sorry. Like, and they were together
just
5
like that.
years. 5 years they were together, and she's like, nah, I like your brother better now.
Hey, maybe she's not a Spider-Man fan. Maybe she's more into DC, and she found out about this, and she was like, you know what? Your brother likes Batman. I'm gonna go over here.
Yeah, he's gonna
Fuck
get
you, Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler. Poor Tyler. So, yeah, so
Poor
like I
guy.
said, I was doing some looking online, and then I come across this article. Actually, it was funny. Both me and Fatty found this article to discuss for tonight. But yeah, I mean, heartbreak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sucks.
I mean, good on Insomniac for like actually doing this. You know, that's
Yeah.
cool that they just let some random guy put this message in there. But shit, dude. That did not end. That did not end well. That
No.
when I read the brother part, that hit me right in the heart. I was like, oh,
Poor
fuck.
bastard. Like that's just,
Yeah.
that's just. Imagine family dinner is gonna be really entertaining now.
Yeah,
God.
Thanksgiving
He
time's
said-
gonna come, and his brother's like, "Hey Tyler, remember when you put that message in Spider-Man?"
And now I'm banging her.
You got to imagine that it's like his older jock, just asshole brother.
Oh,
He's
shit.
been bullying him his whole life.
all his life.
I used to steal your lunch. Now I stole your pussy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Remember when I fucked up one of your comic books? Now I'm fucking a bitch.
Yeah,
This
you're
has
gonna
gotten like way too much.
you're gonna fucking hate Spider-Man now. I
it's
mean,
terrible.
if it's true that they're gonna allow him to change it, I hope he can put something like right smartass on there, like Maddie.
I mean, it's not going to be
Maddie-
too crude, but
No, Maddie, you ass
something.
is fat. The wrong kind of fat. Just change it to say you stupid. That's you stupid. Oh shit. Tyler was here. That's what they should put. Tyler was here. There you go.
Yeah, immortalize him in a way that's not gonna just make
Yeah.
people feel bad and make fun of him.
Yeah. Oh shit. Well, hopefully he can
Terrible.
move on. Hopefully he can move on.
Yeah. Well, let's start the process and let's move on here to the next topic. Fatty talked to us about Fallout 76.
Yeah. So we've talked about Fallout 76 quite a bit on this podcast so far, and like I said, I'm looking forward to it. But Xbox has revealed that it's going to be coming out with a Fallout 76 bundle. Now, before you get excited like I did, it's nothing special. Basically, Xbox going to be releasing a Xbox One X in white as opposed to the normal black, and it's going to come with a copy of Fallout 76.
That's
there's
it?
There's your bundle.
That makes sense.
Okay.
No, it doesn't.
So not a well, it's the wording, it's the verbiage here that's important. 'cause
Exactly. I expected some Spider-Man level shit PS4 stuff,
Well,
but I get a white Xbox One in a
it
game.
technically is a bundle. Just
Well, I guess so.
It comes with an elite wireless controller.
No, it doesn't.
Because that was Xbox One Fallout 76.
It comes with a normal ass Xbox controller, but they're releasing an Xbox White Elite controller. that
Oh,
you
the
can
way
buy.
that's worded says Xbox One X Fallout 76 bundle and elite wireless controller. Oh, now available in white.
Yeah. That's how they fucking
okay.
get you.
Ah.
They're reeling us in. They're like, oh, look at all the hype this is gonna create. Too bad they're not gonna get it all in one bundle.
Well, okay,
damn,
all
did
right.
they just Maddie the Xbox users.
yeah, pretty much.
all right, okay, here's the thing now. Does that white Xbox look good?
It does. It kind of does. Honestly, like
All right,
thing is-
all right. Here we go again. You're gonna
Yeah.
like it. We're gonna hate it.
exactly.
I'm gonna take a look at this right. No, I hate it. I think it looks terrible.
I actually don't think it doesn't look bad. I mean, the Xbox One
It's-
X is a fucking box, anyways. So
Exactly, but it's plain. I
Right.
don't understand why they wouldn't have at least slapped
Well,
like, a Fallout 76
There's nothing
skin
that
on
says
this.
Fallout on that. Yeah, exactly.
It's just a console with a. It's like the Uncharted PS4s that came out.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like
well,
it's,
and,
no,
and
it's,
on the
it's just like
on the
it's just like the Destiny 2 PS4 Pro I have because it's just
Right.
white. And
well,
I'm
on
fine
the
with
on the
that.
packaging for this, it says Xbox One X. It's got Fallout 76 and everything. But on the bottom of it, in the fine print, it says Special Edition Console.
Yeah.
So what? What is special about this though? Because
Well,
the
it's
picture
white.
is plain.
Yeah,
It's white.
Well, okay, but
It wasn't white before. It was black, but now it's white.
oh, okay. Well,
It's like when the Xbox 360 came out and it was white and it looked bland, but then they brought out the Elite and it was black and everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's great." There's nothing special about this.
okay.
Thank you, Xbox. You fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not impressed. They changed the color on it and called it a special edition.
Yeah, and like Panther said, they're releasing the Xbox Elite wireless controller that you don't get with the bundle. You have to buy that separately. That's in white too. And they're also releasing a new Turtle Beach Elite Pro 2 headset, also in white.
And these are all just in the same article because they're all white.
They're all being because they're all white for the first time.
Okay.
So my
I mean, I
my
guess.
my question is, and like I said, I get it. Like I said, my Destiny 2 PS4 Pro is just white. I mean, I'm fine with that because I mean, as much as I, like I said, I'm not in love with Destiny at all anymore. Um, Sadly, because I mean, the potential. But anyways, like the other PlayStation, a lot of the other PlayStation special editions actually, have a design or have logos or have something to stand out. I mean, yes, the Spider-Man one we've talked about, the special edition for the 500 million we've talked about, like, and they had like the God of War 4 one, which was badass looking. Like, there's been some cool looking consoles, but yeah, to call this a big special edition, just make it white. It was a bit of a fail considering how hard they're pushing Fallout. And
Yeah.
like the basic fact that Microsoft had Todd Howard on stage during their E3 presser.
Yeah, I mean it's
Like-
also almost an exclusive. The beta is exclusive to Xbox at the first. Like you can't get the beta anywhere else other than Xbox for I think like 2 weeks or something.
Probably.
So
yeah.
it's almost that exclusive level, but then they give us this. And like there has been some nice Xbox special editions. There's
Yep.
been so many good consoles. How hard would it be to make a Fallout one? Literally, you could light it on fire, beat the shit out of it, and then put it in a box. It's Fallout. It
Yep.
looks like shit. People are gonna buy it because it looks rugged. It looks like it went through nuclear war. But no, we have this clean, like pristine looking
Yeah.
white console.
the,
that
the
just- it
opposite
doesn't
is
do anything.
possible that it could
even
be.
if they had
Yeah.
even if they had left it white and put the gear logo 76 on the top of it, at least the hell to, even if they went at least that little minimal to make it look like an actual special edition, or put the Fallout 76 logo across the front of it, like, so that it actually has at least a branding on it. Like, yeah, I mean, to me it's a complete failure as a special edition console.
Yeah, the
No, I
marketing for
agree.
that was awful.
Yeah.
Someone's a dumbass.
It was like it was done as an afterthought though, because they announced like these white editions, right? And I feel like they realized they didn't have a Fallout thing, and some guy was just like, "Well, why don't we just call this the Fallout? Just bundle the game with it." Oh, okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
I don't
That's
know.
it.
Part of me hopes they'll actually either them or Sony will actually do a Fallout one. I will get it. I'll get it for PC, but it'd be nice to see what they can do.
Yeah,
But I don't know. This is the total failure in my eyes.
yeah.
Hey,
I agree.
for once, we're not shitting on a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of shit, the next topic that I have is a real doozy. So 2K, the company behind NBA 2K, so we've talked about loot boxes, pretty much ad infinitum, almost every podcast for like a number of months almost. It felt like every time that we had one that we were talking about loot boxes in some way, shape, or form. So as we've stated previously in prior podcasts, Belgium has basically cracked down on loot boxes and established law against certain varieties of them, and basically what are called blind loot boxes, where players pay for packages of random in-game items. So it's banned, in both Belgium and the Netherlands, when those government studies found them to constitute gambling. So 2K is about to launch NBA 2K19. It launches in a few weeks, and it'll be missing a certain component in Belgium stores and markets. So players there will not be able to buy card packs with real money currency, thanks to the Belgian Gaming Commission. So, as might be expected, 2K doesn't agree with the ruling. They've issued a statement, and I'll read part of that now. It says, "We're working to comply with BGC's current interpretation of these laws. As a result, we've made some local changes to the My Team mode. These changes are necessary in order for us to accommodate the BCG's interpretation of the Belgian Gaming Act. Specifically, we'll be turning off the ability to purchase packs with premium non-earned currency." It says it's having continued conversation with Belgian officials. And the funny part for me here is that they actually plead for their gamers in Belgium to contact local government representatives in order to try to get the option to pay real money for these card packs, these loot boxes.
What?
They want people to go to their government offices and write letters and call their representatives to say, hey, I want to spend my money gambling in this game.
Wow. Oh my fuck.
It's like, look, guys.
They want people to protest the law against this fucking gambling loot box fiasco.
It's like this. Listen. I'm gonna sell you this game for $60 or $80 or 400 kroners or wherever the fuck your value of the money is for the game, whatever country you live in, and it's gonna be look. The game is $60, but you want to spend more money. So tell your government that you need to spend more money on this fucking video game because it's just that fucking good. Give me a fucking break, 2K. You should be fucking embarrassed.
They really should be. This is pathetic because it's not even just like them disagreeing or whatever. They're complying because they have to, because it's law in these countries now. But they're telling fans of their franchise to protest the law. I mean, and I use the word protest loosely. I mean, I'm not talking about, they're not advocating riots in the streets or whatever, but they're telling their fans that they recommend fans to contact local government representatives to communicate their opinion. I mean, I'm a little blown away that a professional, AAA development company says something like this.
Yeah,
obviously they're not going to agree with it because this is an income source. But to come out and tell these people like to try to get their laws changed so they can be sunk into this gambling feature.
Yeah, they're basically saying, "Hey, you like our game? Go tell your government you want to be exploited."
Exactly. What the fuck?
Wow. Fucking Christ, 2K. Just way to go.
That's like
good on you.
That's like telling to freely back into a broom handle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, and it's like, if cops arrest your drug dealer and then he writes you a letter and says, "Hey, you need to get me out of here so I can sell you more shit."
There you go.
Yeah. You need to call your representatives and say that I'm good for you. That you want to spend your money on what I'm selling.
Yeah, you want that one specific dealer out so because he's got the good crack.
Fuck.
Not that bad crack. Like that's. I mean, I understand them not agreeing with it. And I understand them, not able to maybe because they're not maybe based in those countries for them to actually either protest or kick back against those laws. But to ask their fans to say, "Hey, look. We need to tell your government officials that they need to allow loot boxes because it's ruining your gaming experience." Anyone who buys this fucking game now, as far as I'm concerned, needs a fucking good kick in the nuts. Or twat if you're female, because that's just fucking disgusting.
It's pathetic.
It is fucking disgusting. I mean, the amount of shit that gamers have gone through and fought to get these loot boxes made into a fair type microtransaction system, at least, because we know they're never going to leave.
At least, yes.
At least make it fair to a point where you know what you're getting type deal. Then that's what we've been fighting for. And now they're trying to get the fans to turn against the gamers to turn against themselves. Not going to happen. I guarantee there's not one 2K NBA player has gone to their government official and say, "Look, I enjoy being ripped off. Let them rip me off some more." Like, no. And if anybody in Belgium has called their fucking officials, you need to fucking get kicked in the balls, or twat if you're female. I can't say or kicked in your gender fluid, unspecific.
I don't know.
Genitalia.
Non-binary.
There you
gender
go.
Fluid. Yeah.
You're better at that than me, Fatti. You know it. You know.
Oh, it's my favorite thing to rip on.
Whatever kind of fish tank you've got going on down there.
There
Whatever you want to identify as today, you fucking table.
2K,
but 2K again. I'm surprised. I'm surprised in so many unpleasant ways about this because, like I said, this is a AAA company that has a massive franchise. 2K is the go-to basketball franchise. You've got NBA Live, but typically that's garbage in comparison.
Yeah.
I mean, 2K sells more. They put more money into the development of the game. They get bigger names to assist and feature in there as far as like celebrities and stuff. They have a better story mode. 2K is always more polished and sells better because of that.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't some amateur hour developer. This is a big company. 2K releases a ton of great games. It's just crazy, and I just I don't know what else we can say or how else we can react to this, but with disgust and disappointment. Because a professional company coming out and saying this, I mean the analogies that Fatti and I just came up with on the fly, I mean, really just rewords it in a more honest way.
Yeah, pretty much. It's fucking sickening.
It's terrible.
Fuck you.
Anyways, 2K. Yeah, fuck 2K. Anyways, let's move on. Possibly some more positive news. Panther. What about PSVR? What's going on with that?
2 new bundles just announced. Man,
are they white?
The headset is white and black, but it's always been white and black. The bundle itself is not actually about a new color or some crazy logo that's on your headset that you'd never see because you wear the fucking thing. The Move controllers don't have any, spiked braids on the bottom or any tassels. They look like normal ones. But it's the games.
Shit.
It's the games that are being bundled. One of the new bundles is the Creed Rise to Glory, the boxing VR game. I have seen a little bit of gameplay. It looks pretty cool. It definitely would be a workout. It definitely would get you up and moving, and it'd be a good workout. I mean, if you're looking to game and get off the couch, that looks like it'd be a pretty good game for anyone with, especially that likes a boxing type simulator, because that's what it is. And Super Hot VR. I played Super Hot. I played like a little demo version of it back in the day, and then I played the full version on PC. It's a fun, interesting kind of game, and I've watched some VR footage, and it's definitely interesting in VR because with Super Hot, if you don't know the game, it's like a bullet time Matrix style game where time only moves when you move. I mean, if you stand still, time moves at a really, really small increment. But when you move, that's when time moves, and these enemies are shooting bullets at you, so you have to time your moves and learn a pattern to be able to either shoot them or hit them to pass the level. In VR, it's the same thing. You have to move for time to move, so you have to actually, duck and lean side to side and stuff for the actions versus not using a controller. So those are 2 cool games. The next is, let's scroll down the page here. And it is, here it is here. It is Astrobot, which I don't really know much about, and Moss. And Moss in VR looks pretty damn cool. What it is, you're not actually controlling the character in Moss, you control the world. So in other words, Moss is a little mouse that's running through this world, and you, as the player, you manipulate the world and surroundings, etc., for the mouse to continue on through the game. So you basically control the world the mouse lives in.
That's interesting.
It definitely is pretty cool. The Astrobot game, it's a brand new. It's a platformer developed exclusively for PlayStation VR. According to the notes on the webpage. I recommend anyone checking out some footage on all the games I mentioned. Like I said, Astrobot, unfortunately, I don't know a lot about. But Moss, I've seen a little bit of gameplay information on it and kind of like an early, I don't know if it was a beta that I'd seen or what, but there's been some footage online of both Moss and Creed. Super Hot's been around for 2 or 3 years now, so that should be easy to find footage even for VR. So yeah, for Moss and Creed, definitely take a look at those, and you might as well take a look at Astrobot while you're doing it.
I do want to point out one thing at the very, very bottom of this article. It says PSVR currently has a robust portfolio of nearly 340 PSVR games.
Yes.
That blows my mind.
Yeah.
Well,
I honestly had no idea.
games and experiences. So they're not all games.
Yeah, there's some things that there's
Oh,
you wouldn't class them all as as
so some of
full-on
those are going to be
games.
like environment demos and some random shit.
Yeah,
There's
there's
there's remember Drake and Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's an experience that I downloaded just for shits and gigs because I have a PSVR. It's the Drake experience where he sings to you
Oh.
in VR. So there's a lot of cheesy shit like that, but there is a lot of games out there for this.
Okay. I mean, I was just surprised. That's a staggering number. Just thinking, okay, but yeah, if that's not, exactly honest in its representation, then yeah, I understand. Never mind.
I would say about 70% of that, 70 or 80% is games though. There's
Okay.
a lot out there. There's a lot of support for it.
Wow.
yeah, and
Okay.
it shows it's $299 US or $379 in Canadian dollars.
Yeah.
So you get
that's I'm looking here. So the difference between the bundles are one comes with moves controllers, one doesn't, other than the games, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. The one with Moss and Astrobot is just it's just the headset, games, and camera. Good call. I didn't notice that on the box.
Yeah, I was just
Oh.
looking at
Yeah,
them. Oh, that's cool.
but yeah, the other one, the Creed, and Super Hot one, it comes with everything.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that one's more money.
is-
That's $349 US and $449 Canadian.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of cool that they're making more options for people. I know when I bought mine, there was really only the one option that was feasible, and that was the Skyrim bundle. But I mean, for people who don't like Skyrim, it kind of deters you, I guess.
Have you played much Skyrim on VR?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
It's good. It's definitely good, but it's not as polished as you'd like it to be. So playing it for a long times, you kind of get drained out. But it's still fun. It's still Skyrim, right? You're still fighting dragons and shit. Just you're actually swinging your arms to do it. So that kind of makes it fun. But you can tell it was just a port to VR. So some of the graphics aren't great. Like you look at the grass or leaves and stuff, and you're like, wow, this is Minecraft.
Damn. But as
Yikes.
development goes, I know a lot of more developments coming. I know there's like some teams pretty much dedicated now to doing a lot of VR stuff. So hopefully more things are coming.
There's definitely some cool shit that's been released recently, and there's apparently a lot more on the way.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that later.
Yeah.
For now, I really don't want to talk about this one, but Fatti, sing the swan song for us, if you will, from arguably the greatest console ever made.
Yeah, it's a sad day for people who had cherished their PS2s, much like myself, and probably you guys as well if you had one.
Yep.
I did.
It's pretty much the end of an era. Sony is finally cutting the final ties with the PS2. They made an announcement not too long ago asking their diehard fans who had PS2s to get their consoles in for repair one last time if they needed it, because after August 31st, Sony was no longer repairing PS2s, meaning the PS2 has lost complete support from Sony. There's absolutely nothing being made for it. There's no repair support, nothing. Shit's dead in the water. Now, this doesn't come as a surprise because it's been out for 18 years. if any company supports a console for 18 years, you know that console was good. Like they had some beliefs in it if it went 18 years. But yeah, it came out in 2000. I remember getting mine in 2000 when I was a wee child, and I absolutely loved it. And it went on to become the best-selling console of all time, selling 155 million units, which is just astronomical for a gaming console.
Yep.
When this was released, of course, Twitter pretty much blew up with a slew of nostalgic tweets and shared memories of days past. Basically, just giving the PS2 the loving send-off it deserved, with people talking about their gaming memories, some of their fondest moments with the PS2. Someone was talking about rocking old SpongeBob games. That was their thing. And some of them got kind of a little more dramatic than others. One person said, "As of today, the PS2 and I have something in common. We're both dead."
Wow.
Some people felt pretty emotional about this shit, apparently.
Jesus. I mean,
But,
I like my PS2, but damn.
yeah, exactly.
Just think that
But,
someone tweeted in the article that someone tweeted the PlayStation outlived the PS3, the PS Vita, a rip to the legend.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, I mean, rest in peace, sweet prince.
Yeah.
What's your guys' favorite memories of the PS2?
God of
Fancy, you
War,
wanna-
God of
go
War
first?
up there. SOCOM. I played a lot of SOCOM with some friends.
Oh,
back
oh,
in
so
the
did
day.
I
I,
wasn't
yeah.
expecting that from you. Okay.
Really?
SOCOM was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, so was
Sounds
that's kind of what one of my first kind of not my huge pushes into online, but one console anyways was SOCOM because I was a PC gamer.
Yeah.
So I played some online stuff previous to that. But yeah, I mean PS2, yeah, God of War and probably SOCOM are probably my biggest two that come right to my mind right now. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I've got 2 games that I played way more than any others, and I mean my first game that I put 1,000 hours into. Can you guess it?
Oh wow.
Jeez.
Final Fantasy.
Yes!
Really?
Final Fantasy
No
X.
fucking way.
Final Fantasy X.
I loved Final Fantasy.
I played hundreds of hours of Blitzball. I had
Oh,
one
fuck
save.
yeah.
I had one save of mine that was purely just for Blitzball. So I wouldn't progress any more in the story. All I did was continuously play that. And I would play it for hours.
That's fucking awesome.
I had multiple saves to where, I completed the game. I cried like a bitch at the end of that game too.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
It just tore my fucking soul out because I was so invested in this game. But yeah, just I it's one of my favorite games of all time. So yeah, I like I said, my first game that I ever put that much time into, and it was such a fantastic experience and such an awesome, memorable part of being a young kid and like really, really getting into gaming, like finding a game that I really felt like I had never experienced anything this good before, and there was so many things to love about it. Beyond that, my number 2 game is probably Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty.
Fuck yes. I did not expect either of those from you. That is awesome.
I spent so much time in a cardboard box.
Oh man, I have to. One of mine is Metal Gear Solid 3.
Okay, yeah.
I played that so much over and over again. I found pretty much every Easter egg you could find, and I played a lot of Metal Gear Online because it first came out with that one.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy was another one. I loved that, but GTA.
Yeah,
from
yeah,
3
fuck
right
yeah.
to San Andreas. I played so much of that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
My first PS2 actually died because I played so much San Andreas. It could not handle it.
Wow. Yeah, good times, man. It's probably never going to be repeated, I think, in our lifetime, a single console having so many memories and things associated with it. I think the PS2 is going to be the last of its kind. The rest of the consoles that we've seen since then have been pretty much, upgrades on their predecessor, but the PS2 just was a resounding success, excuse me, in every way, and just broke all metrics, and the things that they were able to do on such limited technology, just is stunning. It really, really is. Coming from PlayStation 1, which was still in a lot of ways, 2D graphics in a lot of games, and the 3D was extremely basic and pixelated and everything, but the PS2 cranking it up to like truly cinematic experiences for the first time. Just yeah, like I said, won't be repeated.
No.
Rest in peace and rest in power, because what a fucking console.
As
Definitely.
much as the PS4 is kind of been a massive dominating force in this era. Yeah, I mean, like the nostalgia behind what the PS2 kind of started.
Yep.
For Sony, I mean, really, it was a massive push forward for them. So, yeah, I mean, as much like I said, like almost 70 million consoles sold with the PS4, but I mean, once once you look back, the PS2 is just it was so not really ahead of its time, but it was really the leader of its time. I think
It was
Yeah.
game
pushed the
changing.
envelope a lot. I mean, and not the 360. The 360 also had some good legs as well, but the PS2, walked all over it. And I own
Yeah.
both, so I mean, I can't say I didn't. I had a 360 as well. Played a lot of it as too. So but I mean, the PS2 definitely, it definitely holds a place in a lot of gamers'
Yeah.
in heart and in minds, I guess, if you want to use both.
But PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 for me, to a lesser extent, but the one thing that I always loved about PlayStation 3, just to piggyback on this a little bit, was that we got free online.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
that to me was the biggest thing at the time, because multiplayer console gaming exploded on PS3 and Xbox 360. So, that PlayStation players, Sony players could say that, we can all play together, and, we're not paying for it. And the experience wasn't, to me, significantly better on Xbox as far as multiplayer. So I felt like they were just taking advantage of people back then. Like the online experience was one that wasn't fully developed, but people were still paying for it over there for basically the same thing that we got.
yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, like I said, I didn't want to bring this topic up, man. I didn't want to do it. It's sad.
It is, yeah.
It really
But
is.
at least it went out, you know, kind of on its own terms. I mean, they held that thing out for 18 years. I mean, they didn't just
Yeah.
go, the second the PS3 came out, and the second the PS4 went to like PS2, fuck that. Like they were still doing repairs up until August 31st of this year. That is fucking bananas.
Yes.
So I mean, it went out, but I mean, at least it didn't go out on on an ugly note like it didn't. Oh, all the PS2s are now catching on fire and 5 people have died from it. At least it didn't go out, at least it didn't go
Yeah.
out on a bad term, right? I mean,
Its legacy remains untarnished.
exactly. So there you go.
Yeah.
So as sad as as it is to say goodbye to the PS2, at least it was like I said, it's not gone out on a sad note. It's or on a tarnished note. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, moving on here to our next subject before I cry myself to bed. Um, gonna talk about something here that is kind of been in the back of my mind for a while, and Fatty and I touched on it extremely briefly before the podcast, but this is for Death Stranding. Kojima Productions just announced that a stage show dedicated to Death Stranding will be held at the Tokyo Game Show, presented by Hideo Kojima himself. So this is going to happen on September 23rd, and it's a whole show or presentation about this game. What bothers me is that we've been hearing about this game for a long time now. And there's been, amazing screenshots released. There's been a couple trailers, and we know that the game is coming from PS4. No other platforms have been announced, but we don't really know anything about this game still. And that it bothers me because, when Kojima split and, he started doing his own thing, it's exciting news. And then he started teasing this. And I still have no idea what the fuck this is. And I'm a little tired of just being teased and hearing, about this game and them showing a few things. But like the trailers that we've seen really don't tell us anything. And we're not getting any really information, like no beefy information about like what this actually is, what you're going to be doing, what it's about. Nothing. It's just really like cryptic shit. And it's all built to be cryptic. It's not even, like we're seeing pieces of the puzzle. I don't feel like it's just meant to have people talking about it. And it's almost like this is just something to put in front of people to keep their attention or keep them talking about it, because everything that we see on this has been absolutely batshit crazy. Like what's the guy's name? I'm blanking on it right now, but the main guy,
Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus. Yeah, like we see him pregnant with a baby.
Is he really pregnant with a baby?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do you not remember that?
Well, it showed him going in the mouth and showing the baby, but I'm thinking that's a symbolism for something, because in the last trailer the baby was in that container, strapped to his chest, right?
Right.
It's Kojima. Everything's
It's-
fucking symbolism.
Right. So I think that was more of a symbolic thing than an actual, in other words, thing that he was pregnant with a baby. But who
Well,
knows?
I don't know, but,
But-
I honestly,
but-
I don't even want to have the discussion about it because
But
I'm angry now every
here-
time that I hear
here,
about this.
here, the last trailer we saw, you're a FedEx man in the future. That's what it is. it's a FedEx delivery simulator in the future, and that's what you got to carry around: babies, corpses, and big boxes. That is, and whoever gets the most packages delivered in a short amount of time wins the game. It's a FedEx post-apocalyptic simulator. I don't know.
Crazy taxi.
I fucking pre-ordered the fucking thing.
Oh my god. I'm so disappointed in you. Did you really?
Dude, because
For what?
because I saved money.
But
You don't know what you're saving money on.
It's a
Yeah.
physical copy. If I can cancel or return, right?
but what prompted you to say,
Because it
yeah, I'm
saved,
gonna
like,
spend money on this?
Did you
well,
see?
I
Did you
didn't-
see this
I
and be
didn't-
like, man, I would really like to have a UPS simulator?
Yes,
Great
yes.
Well, let me
Yes.
ask this then. When did you pre-order? After
Like-
what trailer? Like what?
like,
What was like?
I pre-ordered
selling
this ages ago. It was like on, I can't remember if it was Amazon or Walmart. One of the sites had it
Oh
on,
my
like one of the
God.
E3 sales, I think last year.
Oh my
mean, it was
god!
just- I can't
we
remember. I
knew even
pre-ordered-
less
I
about knowing
pre-ordered
nothing.
so much shit, man. I pre-ordered and canceled and
Ugh.
returned so much because of the fucking savings, man. If I'm gonna
Okay.
fucking buy a game, I'd rather spend $50 on it than $80 on it,
Okay, I
And-
gotta ask you something.
Yeah.
When you pre-order these games, you do it through Amazon, right?
or Walmart, one of the two. And I don't pay for them until they ship. So
Okay, so you don't have to pay up front then.
no, it's not
Well,
like playing through the
Then
PlayStation.
it's
Store.
not as bad because you haven't dished out money
No.
already. for
Right.
No, I don't. I'm not.
UPS
Yeah, I
Simulator
don't.
2019.
No, I don't. I don't. Yeah, I pre-ordered it, and it's you don't pay until released, until the game's launched or released, or like a week before. Like they usually take the money off your account and then they send it. Like Walmart does that, and but yeah, I mean Amazon doesn't bill till they ship. So, I mean if I the more information comes out and I'm like, ah, fuck that, I just cancel. Or if it shows up in my door, I've returned like 3 or 4 games to Walmart. Just they show up, I was like, fuck it, take it back, get my money back. So it doesn't cost me anything. Because it goes right back on my credit card. Boom, like I never even bought it.
It
Yeah,
still
I don't.
blows
I don't.
my mind though.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I've said it before. I've said it like in a rant video, and I've said it multiple times, like on a podcast. Is pre-ordering. I kind of don't like it, but for the fact that I save money, I don't really, if I don't have a choice.
Well,
I like to play
the-
video
the
games,
thing that
man, and I
gets
don't
me
like to
ab-
spend money. So
the thing that gets me about this particular game is that we still know nothing about it
Oh, I
at
know.
all.
I
So
know.
you could pre-order it any time, but you chose to do it a year ago. That's what I don't get. Like you can pre-order
I
anytime
think
before the release of the
I-
game, right?
No, yeah, but you can't get the savings unless you pre-order during like their E3 specials.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Amazon and Walmart don't do. Yeah, you don't. I can pre-order it. I can pre-order it at full
Oh.
price if I want to now. But why wouldn't I pre-order at E3 whenever it's $30 off? Right?
Huh.
Yeah,
All right.
that's why I
Well,
do it.
all right. So
Yeah.
it makes a little more sense,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
But let me just to track back here. So all we know about this game is that it's some type of futuristic game. There's still people in some form, but some of them look like mutated or maybe even like robotics. I'm not positive. There's nothing really clear about this. It's got Norman Reedus and Mads Mikkelsen, which I love Mads Mikkelsen, especially from Hannibal. I'm such a huge fan, but just the actor himself, he's been in a ton of great stuff. I love watching him work. So I've been interested in this game. I just don't know anything about it. And like I said, it's just making me mad at this point because every time this game is brought up, it's never with any significant purpose. It's just to show you another batshit crazy teaser that has no significance to it. It's got no depth to it. It's got no actual intel on this game. Nothing about it has been really talked about. At least for me, nothing has been clear.
Yeah.
And that just bothers me because we're at like 2 years now, you know?
Just to
Well, I
back
mean,
just to
that's-
backtrack for a quick second. I pre-ordered it on June 12th this year. but I can,
Okay,
but-
whatever.
Okay, but you remember the not the last trailer we saw where he was the Wanderer, but
Right.
the one where they were kind of in the beach area, and then the invisible things were coming. And they put their hands over their mouth and shit. That apparently is like a couple hours into the game, according to I can't remember who played it, but there's actual like the Sony officials and like shit have actually played this fucking game. Like they're not just showing like random shit that doesn't work. It's just teasers and like people have actually played this game and they've actually played into like a couple hours into this game.
I have a hard time believing that.
Well,
how does nobody know shit about it if people have actually played it?
I think the point of it is to not really reveal and tell you everything about the game. I think it's going to be kind of a not really, oh, well, here's a game, buy it and figure out what it is. I think it's going to be, we're going to be told like this before they like officially announce it. Maybe this big presentation is going to be the thing that's going to let us know what the fuck's going on.
Well, like that's the thing. This whole thing is stereotypical Kojima.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the Metal Gear series. I've followed it from the very beginning, and he's done this multiple times with those games as well. Not to this extent, but even with Metal Gear Solid 5, they marketed that as a completely different game. Moby Dick Studios was making some new game that no one has ever seen before, but no, it was very obviously fucking Metal Gear Solid 5. He just tried to swing it as it wasn't. So all of this mystery and shit, it's so him. And that's why it doesn't bug me. But at the same time, like Baker said, we're 2 years into this. And I still think we're just a fucking delivery man walking through the mountains. Like, what is this game?
Hey, I mean,
I'm frustrated because I want to care about it.
I know,
exactly.
and I've not been given anything to care about.
Yeah, I get it. I know exactly what you mean. I want to know more about the game too. Like I do. I want to know more. I want to know what the hell it is. Do I keep my pre-order? Do I cancel it? Like, do I keep my pre-order? Do I cancel my pre-order? Come on, Kojima, let me know. Like I said, I need to know. I got a lot riding on this. Nothing actually. So
I don't know. I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of 2 years of teases and random video footage that, if it is hours into the game, that's okay if we knew more about it. I just don't feel like it's okay because we know nothing. So, if you give me if this was a book with only a title with a couple, characters that they've revealed, but nothing really about them. And he lets me read one page, 17 chapters into it. Like, I still have no idea what the fuck's going on. Like, this is bullshit.
But this is video games now. How often do we get teased about shit like fucking 3 years in advance now? Like, they announce games. We don't even have a release date anymore. We
get teased, but at least we know the premise of the game.
We all know it's a fucking FedEx. It's a baby delivery, dead body dragon fucking God. FedEx delivery system. That's what it is. You work your rank up. You start out as like basically the mailroom guy, and then they let you out for like an hour to deliver packages, and 2 hours, and eventually you go on like 3-day treks and pull your toenails off. Come on. Who doesn't want to play that game? I want to play that game.
Mads is like the leftover remnant of USPS, just competing for your business.
Yeah.
Trying to kill you.
Yep. Hunting you down. He's got invisible aliens like trying to like eat your baby and stuff. Yeah, dude. Like, come on. Who does not want to play this game? Come on. Everybody wants to play this game.
Well, I don't want to pre-order it. God. All right. Well, let's move on because now I'm pissed. So we said earlier we were going to talk more about VR. Panther, bring us back and tell us what's going on.
Sony CEO on VR. You will see the change and improvement. And I think it was on a couple podcasts ago. We were talking VR a little bit. And I was one that Fatti missed, and it was kind of sad because he was the one of the group that actually owns the VR. But they talked about, we talked about, or I've kind of speculated that the next PlayStation is probably going to see a big change in VR because a more powerful machine will lead to, the potential for a more powerful VR system. But Sony is not giving up on VR. I mean, like we've seen, there's always new games coming out. There's like 300 and 40 between games and and demos and environmental.
Right. And
You know,
in that podcast we talked actually about the market share, and PSVR is far and away the winner right now.
yeah,
And I was extremely surprised, but I mean, like by a huge margin, PSVR is where to go for most of the PSVR, excuse me, VR sales.
right.
The lion's share is with PSVR.
Well, I mean, like their console market share is their big push for that. I mean, it sold better than they expected. I mean, they
Yeah.
were expecting decent numbers out of this, but I mean, considering how early in infancy it really is, I mean, they were expecting, some sales, but it even surprised them. And, they're looking at basically improving it and evolving the VR. I mean, there's already been a second iteration of the headset. It's been slightly improved over the original launch headset. So there's a second SKU of the headset. So we know that they're always looking into it. They're definitely looking into investing in it. Like I said, they're investing in teams that are working on this. And with the PlayStation 5, within a 2-year window, I'd say 2020, I'm guessing. A lot of people are speculating. Then I'm hoping, because I would love to get into the VR market a little bit as well, because I think VR is fucking pretty cool. And I know it doesn't make me want to throw up. So I'm like, hey, I'm in. But I want to see, a nice step forward in VR. And I mean, they're already working on upping the display. They talk about, new VR displays that they're going to put in. And like, I mean, there's this article is definitely worth a read. It's not very long. It's definitely worth a read. It's definitely nice to know that Sony hasn't said, well, we sold 3 million or 2 million or whatever, and we're happy with those numbers and we're just going to leave it, let it go, basically to the wayside because no one wants it. But with the numbers they're pushing out with the VR sales, with the console sales, and it's Xbox doesn't have this. This is a selling point. I mean,
Xbox has actually announced that they were trying VR, but they've cut ties with it.
Yeah,
That's not feasible right now.
Yeah, so I mean, like this is a big selling point for a lot of gamers, considering the numbers that Sony has right now for the VR sales is huge. I mean, they outsell all the other VR markets, and
I was so surprised to hear that. I really was.
Yeah, and I mean it's a large number. I mean, I don't have the number in front of me because that was a few
I believe they were at 3 million sales. That was their celebration, right? And everyone else, I want to say, was still in a couple 100,000.
Something else was at 1 million though. I think there was another one at 1 million or close to 1 million.
Know.
It might have been one of the cell phone VR headset units. Might have been.
Yeah.
It was up there. I think they were in second place. One of those type of units was in second place, and then it was pretty close between Vive and what's the other one? Oculus. It was pretty close between those two.
But you got to think, like, it's such an affordable way to get into VR and have good VR. I mean, you can get into the cell phone ones pretty cheap, but they're kind of shitty. Whereas the PSVR, it's real good. It's not HTC Vive good, but it's almost there.
Yeah, if they do a better tracking system, and they improve their screen, then they definitely leaps and bounds. They'll be definitely the leader in the technology. And like I said, Sony's not backing away, and they're pushing for development on this, and it's a smart move. I'm guessing we're gonna see a new VR headset for PS5. I'm gonna see there's gonna be PS5 VR bundles. I'm gonna guess that's right now. I don't know if it launch, but I imagine down the road after they've come out with a new one and it shows some sales, I'm figuring we're gonna see a PS5 bundle with a VR unit.
This excites me.
It does me as well.
As someone who has a PSVR and wants more for it, to see that they actually want to continue with VR, it excites me. And like I said, it's the most affordable way for what you get. I mean, I would love to have an HTC Vive, but to do that, I need to drop almost $1,200 into a new PC on top of the $800 they cost.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's a shit ton of money right there. Whereas you can get a normal PS4, you don't need the Pro, a normal PS4, and the cheap PSVR bundle without the move sticks, and you have VR. I recommend the move sticks because it's not the same without them, but that's maybe $700-800 right there.
Yeah, if you don't have the console already.
Yeah.
But at this point, chances are that you most likely do.
Exactly.
You have the console, or I mean, you can pick up a used console, or even pick up a used VR headset, or you can like hunt the market and try to pick up some used Move controllers and save yourself some money there. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm interested in this. I'd love to get in the VR market. It's money up front, but I mean, if you know, I mean, the experience is pretty cool. I'd love to be able to have one to dedicate some time to playing it. But like I said, what scared me away from it is just the amount of time that I'm not putting into my games I currently have. To add a VR on top of that for me right now would be a bad idea. But down the road, once I get some of the games cleared out and get a set, I may look at getting a VR. But yeah, I'd love to have one, either a PS4 one or one for PC. VR is damn cool and it's here to stay.
Well, like I mentioned during that podcast, and like you said, it was a shame that Fatti missed that because he's the one with the great experience with it. But, I am looking towards future technology with VR before I'm going to consider getting invested, to where I want some type of like mat that you can set down, that'll basically be a treadmill in every direction. I want to be able to actually like walk and run and crouch or whatever. Like I want to be able to actually commit to like being in a virtual reality, or if I'm like halfway suspended and I'm running on a treadmill or whatever, like however this technology emerges, that's what I want. I don't want just a headset. I don't want to accidentally punch my fiance as I'm trying to box, like I want like an area zoned off, dedicated to this. And I absolutely understand that that's going to cost a lot of money.
Well, they already have all that stuff.
But I don't feel like if I bought that right now, what would I be able to do? Where's the support for that? The technology is available, yes, but is it usable in a way that would satisfy me as a gamer? And I don't think the answer is yes.
Yeah, it's definitely not as supported as it should be, but it's getting there. The support is growing, and for, as you say, in the treadmill and stuff, those are out there. There's multiple different ones that you can choose from, and there's a lot of games that already do support it. It's just not to the height of, say, normal VR games that are out there right now.
Right.
So it's growing, but like you said, future technology, it's gonna happen eventually.
Yeah, I want to see that become more mainstream and become more affordable. I want to know that when games come out, I'll be able to play it that way. And I want more than I know not every game is like this, but I feel like the large amount of the majority of VR games right now are mostly just extremely limited on movement. And that maybe I'm wrong, but that's the impression that I get with a lot that I hear about, and just the games that are released. Most of them either seem on rails or it's very basic movement. And yeah, again, for me, like I don't want to stand still and only do VR with my hands.
Yeah.
That experience doesn't seem like it would be fulfilling for me. I've never tried it, so I could be completely wrong, but this is just my, as a potential customer, the experience I'm looking for right now, I don't feel is fully supported and marketed in a way that, is accessible to me.
Yeah, and you're right in a sense. There's actually not a whole lot of games out there where you are on rails, which is good. Most of the games do support free movement, but only within what I think it's like a 5-foot radius for most of them. Other than that, if you're playing like Skyrim, the movement, like walking, is controlled still by, well, in the PSVR sense, by a button, but on like the Vive, it's controlled by a joystick.
Yeah.
So you kind of lose that immersion. So I get what you're saying there.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the future of VR. I eventually, I'm sure, will be getting something, but I'm still looking at this as years away. Hopefully on PlayStation 5, they find some way to market this to where, maybe I only have to set up like a, a 3x3 mat, and it comes with like a little fence towards the bottom or something of it, like some type of border to where I could tap my foot against it. No, but if I could step, or lean, it'll start moving me in that way. If I can like have a leaning mat in some way, shape, or form or something, that would be as at a baseline somewhat where I want to go with that.
Damn, people fall the fuck over now play VR. Maybe include that. People are just going to be falling.
Well, no, I'm just talking about putting pressure. You know, like if I'm standing still, that's my baseline. And if I put a foot forward, you know, obviously I don't want to continue walking, but putting a foot forward and like pushing down
Okay.
would move
So
me forward.
you wouldn't have to actually stand there and like kind of move your feet in a
No.
forward motion. You just want to make that motion start, and then your character would start.
Yes.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Because I know you said like a treadmill at first. I'm thinking there's some shit out there that's
At first, yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Some,
and then I'm walking it back to where you know what could they do
to make it
you know
home.
if they bundled it to make it home accessible, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
So, anyways, another great idea by Gladys Baker. Just saying. Let's move on here. I think we've got time for the last two topics, but we're about done here. So, Fatti, talk to us. Sony, you know, with with everything great that they do have their failings, and let's talk about this one.
Yeah, so actually at the same conference Panther was referencing about the VR, their CEO Yoshida basically said that crossplay is not needed for the PS4 for games like Fortnite or Rocket League and stuff because the best experience for players is on the PS4. And goddamn, did people not like that?
I wonder why. I wonder
Yeah.
why.
There was a lot of hate from that, but one of the people who spoke up was Xbox engineering lead Mike Ybarra, if I'm pronouncing that right, who shot back, stating that Sony's choice to ignore crossplay requests is basically alienating their players, and said by them doing this, it's them still not listening to gamers. He sort of goes on to say that crossplay is kind of needed because gaming is all about diversification, and having that ability to play with your friends across different platforms is something that is the right step forward for gamers. Yoshida, on the other hand, said that not allowing crossplay keeps good competition between them, Xbox, and Nintendo, something that is important for Sony. They like the competition. They like to think that that helps them push forward. As it stands right now, PS4 does support crossplay with a few different games with PC, but not with Nintendo and Xbox. They said when it comes to crossplay going forward in the future, they're going to basically decide on what's best for the user experience. And they're confident they'll find a solution for crossplay. But right now, they're making the pretty heavy statement that PS4 is basically perfect for people, so you don't need crossplay. Personally, and I'm not on anyone's side, I'm not a fanboy for Xbox or PS4. As a matter of fact, I like Nintendo better than both of them. You guys can shit on me all you want about that, but yeah, bring it. But personally, I think that's fucked up to say. To just sort of stand there and say, listen, the PS4 is so good that you don't need crossplay. You don't need to play with your friends on Fortnite on Xbox or Nintendo or PC. You got us. Don't worry about it.
You just don't need to play Fortnite though. That's the
you should be a full stop right there.
Yeah, that should be the end of the statement. I as a well, I mean, Baker totes himself as a Sony fanboy. I am a big fan of Sony. I used to own an Xbox, so I can't say that I don't like. And like I said, there is potential with Xbox, and they've taken their head out of their ass. But Sony definitely needs to on this. I'm getting sick of this topic. I'm getting sick of hearing this, and I'm getting sick of Sony looking like a bunch of fucking morons. Like, yeah, I get they don't want to. I get that they've never really done they've never done console to console crossplay. But the fact that they do it on PC for Rocket League at least, and I can't remember what else.
Minecraft, I believe.
Minecraft. I get that they don't want back and forth with Microsoft. This day and age, it's not really a console seller. The point I kind of get when Sony's like, we already sold like almost 70 million consoles. We don't have crossplay. We still sold 70 million consoles. What do we care? Like, here, I'm going to unzip my pants and I'm going to pull up my really big dick here and I'm going to swing it the fuck around the room and you can't stop me. But that's not the attitude to have. Not with the way social media is and the way people lose their fucking minds over every little thing now. Like, are we gonna? I'm gonna wait for some Fortnite kid to burn his fucking PlayStation 4 in his driveway because he can't crossplay. That's where we're coming to nowadays. People lose their minds and they go try to make a viral video out of destroying their property because that's their stance on something. I need Sony just needs to get their head out of their ass and just say fuck it, crossplay, and then be done with it. And the topic's over and done with. They don't have to worry about it. Everybody can shut up, and this topic can die. Just for that fucking reason
keeps
alone.
coming back up though, and this is what Sony needs to realize. Now, as you said, I do classify myself as a Sony fanboy, but let me clarify: that doesn't mean that I think this company is perfect and always makes the right decisions.
Oh, neither
What that
do I.
means
Yeah.
is that I love. Yeah, oh really? Yeah, you want to talk about some bullshit? Okay. Oh fuck. But what I mean is that I love Sony as a company, that they've had such an integral part of not only just like my gaming development, but like huge parts of my life and the people that I've met and the friendships that I've cultivated has all been based around the Sony platform. And it's been a constant, source of positivity and growth for me as a gamer and as a person. Even, I'll go ahead and say, like, gaming is a huge part of who I am as a person, and most of that has been done on a Sony platform. I love this company. I love the products that they've made, and I love a lot of the things that they do. But you can love something and still admit that it's not perfect, and that's exactly where I'm at. This is a really stupid thing.
It is.
This is really, really dumb. And the only way that I feel that Sony can stand on this as a business is they must have the view that with them having the majority of console sales, the overwhelming majority, so much so that Microsoft doesn't release their Xbox sales numbers because it doesn't compete. The only way that they can justify having this stance, I think, is to say that we don't want you to cross play with other platforms because right now, majority of the people around that are gamers have this console, and it doesn't help us sell more consoles to say that it's okay to play on other consoles. They're just trying to keep, everything in the family. So if you've got 6 friends of yours that all have PS4s and one guy that has an Xbox One X or an Xbox One S or whatever, variant of the alphabet edition we're on now, chances are you're not going to buy an Xbox to play with the one guy. You're going to go where most of your friends are. And Sony is banking on that. That's their stance right here in a nutshell, is that they're going to say this is where most of the people are at. There's no reason to buy another console if your goal is to play with friends. It should be where most of your friends are, and that's where we are. So they're trying to basically push the console here, but from a stance of we're the king of the mountain. As Panther, so elegantly stated in his analogy, they pulled their dick out right here. And they're saying, look at us, you don't need to go anywhere because I got what you need, baby.
Yeah.
And I get that from a business standpoint. However, as we just talked about, the perception here is one of arrogance, and it's just not what we need as gamers. It's not what they need as a company, and not as a business that wants to continue being in the good graces of the gaming community, because right now pretty much they are. Again, they have their ups and downs, but Sony has dominated this console generation. And I mean, that's not questionable. It's facts. It's statistics there. So with them being the big dogs, with them being on top, and so overwhelmingly so, they do have a certain amount of leeway to where they can make mistakes. But something like this is good for the gamers. It is great that, no, it's not going to sell consoles if they allow, this change. But it's great that their motion in doing that and allowing crossplay would unite gamers. That is what direction I think that they should be going, is that they say, yes, we realize that there's going to be some people who say, oh, well, I don't need to switch over because I can still play with my friends. They're going to lose some potential sales. However, what they're going to do is allow us all to game together and enjoy experiences no matter what console we have. And that is, the heartwarming story that should be found in making that change. That's what they should say, is that we're the big guys and we're also looking out for everybody because this is our community and this is what we love and this is what we want to do. I think
Exactly.
that's what should be done.
Yeah, I mean, as the leaders of the console world right now, they need to be the representatives and say, "Yeah, we're going to make the right move."
Yep.
They need to be the bigger person and say, "This is what's good for gamers. We'll take the L, but they'll save face, right? Because if
Yeah.
they did do it, everyone would be like, yeah, Sony's a good guy. Let's go with Sony. He seems cool."
Yeah. Well, and it's got so much to offer though. PS4 and Sony, they really do, because the reason that they're ahead is because it's a better product.
Yep.
It's not because they've necessarily said the right things or made the right decisions. It's not that they designed it perfectly and that it's a perfect platform. It's that overall the package is much more appealing for a ton of different reasons. So I don't think that this one thing, is going to make or break them. So if it's not a danger to the sales that they could be making, if it's not a danger to sales that they've already made, then I don't see necessarily, the danger here in being the good guy. I don't think it will really cost them that much. And that's my confusion. That's where I'm scratching my head here, is that Sony could easily step in and be the superhero of this story, and say that we're going to be the first game company, or we're going to be the first console that has crossplay with anything that's available to it. That anywhere in the world, no matter what you're playing on certain games, you can connect and play with your friends the way that you've always wanted to. Sony could be the absolute superhero dominating force by doing that move if they do it right. And they're just choosing not to. And not only are they choosing not to, but they're kind of being dicks about it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm positive that Sean Layton, he said that they're working on something that people will be happy with, and it was a backhanded style, like politician type answer. But then all of a sudden, the fucking new overall CEO, he just comes out and says, "Yeah, well, if you don't play on fucking PlayStation, then go fuck yourself." It's like, whoa, 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 like,
Yeah. Well, I
you
mean,
know,
he did say that they're confident they'll find something to do with crossplay, but as it is right now, it's PS4.
and someone's saying that the biggest reason is they don't want someone to buy something on PlayStation, like a sort of on like the Switch or on the Xbox console, and then play with it on the PlayStation console. That's what they're worried about. The people are saying that's their big driving force behind their crossplay blocking on other consoles. They don't want you to go and buy your Fortnite, your purple helmet or whatever the hell you're buying, and then throw it on your character, and then jump on your PlayStation with that special thing you bought on another console. Even though
But
no one would ever know, no one would ever know where they bought it. No one ever know what console they bought it off of. They just see them on PlayStation playing with this whatever they bought. But it's the fact that they're losing out on that revenue is also what they're saying is a driving force. Whether
Well, hold on, I'm confused. That argument doesn't make any sense to me.
yeah,
What do you
doesn't
mean?
that go through Epic's store? That wouldn't go through like
Yeah, but they
Xbox
get a
Live or
cut.
something.
They get a cut though.
Do they?
That's what people are saying. Like, I'm not saying that this is the be all end all of the truth. This
Hang
is
on,
what
I'm confused even on just the basis of this. Is that you're saying, or people are saying, that you can buy something from one console and then play it on a different console?
yeah.
Well, in relation to Fortnite.
Yeah, if you're playing Fortnite on the Xbox and you buy whatever outfit you want to buy, you go log into your Epic account on your Switch, you can play with that gear on that console without ever have to pay.
Well, that doesn't make any sense on why it would cross over like that. Crossplay for me doesn't mean that it's playable. You buy the game once and can play it on any console. Your account should remain stationary to your Xbox Live account or your PlayStation Plus account.
No.
That shouldn't carry over. I don't see why that would be a danger. Why is that even a thing?
No,
Well,
but
because it all runs through Epic, right? It doesn't actually go through.
but you buy it to yeah. Well, like I said, I don't know how true the statement is, but that was one of the. Someone was trying to say that someone that used to work for Sony was speaking out, saying the reason Sony would do crossplay is they don't want people buying stuff through another console and then playing with it on PlayStation. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know anything about Fortnite, how the monetary system works. I imagine the consoles must get a cut of everything sold to the stores.
Yeah, I don't know because it goes through Epic itself.
Well,
Because I've played Fortnite on Xbox and I've never bought anything, but I've looked at it and it seems to go through Epic servers itself. It doesn't have
Like,
anything to do with
so
Xbox's
hold on.
store.
When on Xbox, then you can answer this. How, when you log in, you don't
Yes.
log in with your Xbox Live account. You don't
Well,
log in with your email that's
console,
tied to that.
when you turn on your console, you get logged into your user account.
Yep.
But when you go into Fortnite, which is free, you download it on your Xbox, but it won't let you actually play until you sign in with your Epic account. If you don't have an Epic account, you have to create one
Okay.
and then use that. So it's a separate entity.
okay.
And that's why everything is flowing over the consoles, because it has nothing to do with what console you're playing on.
Okay. Well, maybe it wasn't Fortnite. Then maybe there's another. Maybe there's
Oh, yeah.
another game they were mentioning that maybe it wasn't Fortnite, but I don't know, because the Fortnite is always the forefront of this whole fucking bitch fest. Is
Oh, yeah.
I can't
12-year-olds.
I can't play fucking Fortnite on my PlayStation, and another thing that people were pissed about, and I get this, is their Epic accounts are locked. If you sign into your Epic account on PlayStation, it gets locked to your PlayStation. You can't take that account. That's not cool. I have a problem with that no matter what fucking platform you play on. If it's my account and so that was a big thing. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it may not be Fortnite related to that other topic that I mentioned, but people were saying they don't want people buying gear through the basically the Xbox store and then taking it and playing with it on the PlayStation console. Whether
Well,
I don't know.
I don't see why you would though.
Well,
That's a scenario that I don't find very likely. If you're playing, if you've got it installed and it's on Xbox,
right.
why would you get something just to go play it somewhere else?
No, but I
Yeah.
mean, if you
Like if I don't know. It doesn't
I
make
get
sense.
it doesn't sound right, but I understand them not wanting. In other words, if I had it on my Xbox and I'm playing it, and then I decide to buy a PlayStation because I want like some exclusives, but then I just take that content that I purchased on Xbox and then just move that over to my PlayStation, then all that content that I paid for through Xbox Store, I get to play with it on the PlayStation console because I didn't pay for it through the PlayStation Store.
All right. Well, here's the thing then. So I can get rid of that argument in one fell swoop very easily. The lion's share of consoles that have been sold have been on PlayStation 4.
Right.
So if you've got a 5-1 advantage over your competitor, chances are it's not going to be coming from the other console.
No, I get that.
It's going to be like a 75 or 80% chance that anyone buying stuff is going to be on your console because you've sold the most consoles.
Right. And that's an argument. I'm not making an argument like that's the thing. This is what a lot of people are using to fight back, like to say Sony's being this fucking petty and greedy, is that they're worried that someone's going to spend money on another platform and bring it over to Sony without them getting a cut. That's how the people are saying that why Sony's doing this. They're saying that's one of the driving forces, and I don't think it's right either. It doesn't make enough sense. There's not going to be enough people buying stuff through Switch and through Xbox, any type of game, and then bringing that content over to PlayStation. That's going to cause Sony to lose money. They're not losing money anyways. It'd be a sale they never had to begin with. But if they bought a fucking console, then they just made a sale. So it's a stupid argument that people keep trying to force as being the reason why. That was I was bringing that up for. I'm not saying that's a valid reason.
And I'm not arguing with you,
right.
but we're vicariously taking these stances to argue and counterpoint.
Right, I get it. So like I said, it's another thing that people are just trying to push and say, oh, Sony's just as fucking greedy. And so, well, Sony's got more fucking money than anybody else regarding the gaming sector because they sold like almost 70 million consoles. So I mean, they're not hurting for money. So a few thousand Fortnite sales or a few thousand Rocket League sales or Minecraft sales are not going to break the company. So that's, to me, it's not an actual argument. But I mean, this needs to die. This is like the loot box conversation. It needs to fucking die. Sony, fix your shit.
Why don't we write our local representatives and see?
I'm going to. I'm going to go municipal, provincial, then federal, baby. This is I'm tired. I'm tired
Sean
of this.
Casey will have your back. He'll have your back.
Trudeau, you better get something done, buddy.
Oh, fuck. All right. Well, I was going to talk about one more topic here, but I'm not really informed, as the guys found out pre-podcast. The last topic that we wanted to get to was a list of cars and songs that is going to be included in Forza Motorsport 4
Horizon
and
4.
Horizon 4. See, I don't even I don't even know the game. Forza Horizon 4. There's a huge list, and it covers the majority of more than 450 cars that'll be available to play in the game at launch on October 2nd. It's got some classic cars. It's got extremely modern cars, brand new, from all over the spectrum, different makes and models and everything. I don't know enough about cars to get excited about any of it, but these guys are, really wetting their whistles over this. So there's going to be a ton of stuff included. I won't name anything on this list because I'm not familiar enough, other than I'm going to say that it does have my Ford Focus in there. So I'm excited about that. It's got a ton of cars listed. It's got a ton of music listed on the soundtrack. And this is also not all inclusive. There will be more stuff on launch day. There's going to be more stuff after the release. And even this list here is not the entirety of what's going to be available on launch day. So it's going to be even more than that. So for you car fanatics out there, click the link that we're going to provide here and find out some of the cars that you'll be able to play with on day one, October 2nd. And that's all I'm going to say about it because I don't know any more about it.
That's all I got to say about that.
And that's all I got to say about that. There's some cars, and they're going to go over them.
And there's music. Yeah, there you go.
And there's music. Yeah. You can do it to music.
You covered it. Yeah. No, there's an extensive list. Yeah, there's everything from old school. There's like a fucking old Jeep. There's like everything. Lambos. There's the whole works thrown in. There's even a Kia Stinger. So there you go.
And some Land Rovers too, I think.
Yeah, there's some newcomers that are kind of excited for anyone who's been with the Forza series. Mainly classics, like old classic British cars such as like the Triumph Spitfire. But other than that, I mean, it's all shit that's been there before.
Yeah, they've got wheels and engines and stuff.
They all go forward and backward and left and right. So be excited. Forza Horizon 4.
The list of cars is easy to cover. It's from A to Z.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's a good way to put it. All right. Well, we have run well over our projected time here. We thought this was actually going to be a short podcast. No. So we're going to go ahead and call it a night here. For everybody listening, of course, thank you. Everything that we've talked about will be linked in the description of the YouTube video for you guys on SoundCloud. Hey, thanks for supporting us over there. But all the information is going to be stored on the YouTube video. Of course, we've got we've got our Twitter handles as well. You can follow us on for any more information or communication you guys want to have with us. You can do it there. So once again, for the three of us here at Beyond the Controller, thank you guys so much for joining us, and we'll catch you guys next time.